everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning some more. Let me say hi to the members in here. Hey there, Sadie. Hey, Jen. Hey, MV. How you doing? Hey, Gina. Hey, Gloria. 4 months, Jeannieville. That's awesome. Hey, I've got something to say. How you doing? Hey, Jules. Hey, Donna. Hey, Grandma. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Under 10, how you doing? Thank you for all those memberships yesterday. There's a lot more members here today than there were yesterday because of you. Thank you so much. How is everyone doing? Hey, Vicky, how you doing? How you doing? So, hey, Casey. Okay, so the document that we thought we saw yesterday, but we wasn't sure what it was, it's up. So it's an opposition, but it's an interesting one because there's portions of something redacted. But then there's also like the defense is using Judge Hippler's leak order about how all of that is on the prosecution. So basically, like, of course, the prosecution wants the information out. They're the ones who you said were responsible for the leak. It's like kind of the gist I'm getting from just like skimming. So for a few minutes here, I'm going to read this. We have like 10 minutes until court is supposed to start. Somebody but commented saying that Ashley Banfield said this was like 4 pages where she was wrong as 5, or at least like the document itself is 5 pages. But I would love to know like where she even has the gall to even like say something about page numbers. Like who is giving them information? Because having page numbers before something is public is like, sort of a big deal in my opinion. Just in my opinion. Let me go ahead and add the banner here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and read this real quick. Well, hello, 13-month CC from South Africa. That's freaking cool. That is freaking cool. Okay, so this is the defense's opposition to the gag order being lifted prior to sentencing. Okay. Mr. Kohberger's request regarding the order is based on, number 1, the language of the order that had not previously been challenged by the media. Number 2, the ongoing publicity regarding the case and threats to Mr. Kohberger's safety. So is that where they got the death threat thing from? Okay, yesterday, someone's given them information. Someone has to be giving them information. I mean, we sort of like already knew that, but somebody is right now giving them information because I saw a headline on some mainstream thing yesterday about how he was getting death threats. This document did not become public until like 25 minutes ago. I checked this morning. I checked last night. We saw the case summary. Someone has definitely given them details. And even though we still are like this close to the sentencing, we're still under the gag order. So is any of that going to be looked at? But then they have this redaction. And as you see down here, whenever they start talking about the third one, there's more redactions, but it literally footnotes the prosecution team wanting something done. And it's about the public statements. So let's go ahead and read what their reasoning is for this real quick. We have about 7 minutes. Okay. And number 3, blank in the hold order for all witnesses issued by this court. The language of the revised amended non-dissemination order issued on June 23, 2023 specifically ran through sentencing. In response to significant litigation and an Idaho Supreme Court ruling on this issue in this case, the court issued a revised amended non-dissemination order on June 23, 2023. By its terms, the order was to remain in full force and effect until the conclusion of a trial and any sentencing proceedings that may follow unless ordered by this court, which we already knew, and they agreed to it already. After this order was issued, the interested parties, hereinafter the media, raised no further objections to the revised order. Well, that's because we thought we were going to a trial. This is a little bit different now. The revised order recognized that Mr. Kohberger's rights extend beyond the questions of guilt or innocence to his right to a fair sentencing proceeding, regardless of whether that proceeding is reached via a jury verdict or a plea. But for the defense to be constantly, especially recently, claiming how the gag order caused a bunch of problems, I don't like the fact that they're arguing it at all. Like, granted, she's probably just doing her job, but they've agreed on stupider stuff. I mean, let's be so for real. The motion filed by the media to vacate the revised order asserts that once a guilty plea is entered, that his right to a fair trial under the Sixth Amendment is extinguished. What the media fails to recognize is that Mr. Kohberger retains his rights to a fair sentencing proceeding guaranteed under the 14th Amendment. But y'all have already agreed to what the sentence is going to be. That was part of the deal. That part. So what do you mean fair sentencing? It's already been agreed to. And his right to effective assistance of counsel under the Sixth Amendment and the Idaho Constitution. His counsel agreed to this. Like, the defense is the one who approached them about this. Okay. A defendant's right to effective assistance of counsel extends to all critical stages of the prosecution where his substantial rights may be affected, and sentencing is one such stage. But again, y'all have already agreed to what the sentencing is going to be. This is a voided argument. In this case, substantial dangers of prejudice to Mr. Kohberger exist up to and through sentencing. As this court is well aware, there have been numerous leaks of confidential information to the press, and the avalanche of publicity continues with the release of the Peacock documentary, The Idaho Student Murders, the Amazon Prime series on July 11th, 2025, and the book by James Patterson on July 14th, 2025, which we've done a complete 4-part series review on this, and we are currently in the review of this one. Now, I want to address something. There's people on Twitter complaining. Now, they didn't say me specifically, but if the shoe fits, the shoe fits, because I've been doing reviews of these things, okay? What I don't understand is how people are like forgetting that the reason why the majority of us are out here even paying attention to this bullshit, these lies out here, is because we're trying to prove that they are lies. So I don't really quite understand why people in certain groups on Twitter are complaining about this whenever this is what like the majority of people on YouTube have been doing from the beginning. We've been going in, watching these documentaries, going over the information from articles and Howard Bloomblum, whatever, and being like, okay, but the fact is over here in this document on this page. Here's the line if you need it. Like, it's to debunk the idiocracy. So I don't really understand why some people like seem to be all pissy about that. I'm just saying. Okay, so we have like this screen popping up now over here. And we still have like 3 minutes. So let me see. Honestly, we'll probably just wait and do number 2 after the fact. But again, so far, I really kind of feel like it's a null and void argument. They've already agreed to the sentencing. They complained about the gag order. I don't understand why they're feeling the need to argue it. I feel like it's a stupid move, but that's just, again, my opinion. So now we wait. And as soon as it pops up, I'll get off the screen. How does she have an unredacted copy? See, you can't tell me that people aren't like sending people stuff whenever they're not supposed to, because there's no reason for her to have an unredacted copy. You've got to be careful. People have got to be careful. Even when it comes to that unsubscribe button at the bottom of your email, don't click on that. Don't click on that. I actually have a series of videos that I've been putting together because as a sponsor, I mean, as people that like sponsors come to, I get a lot of crap emails. And they have like these unsubscribe buttons at the bottom. And like here in the news lately, they've been talking a lot about thinking twice before hitting that unsubscribe button, because it basically will tell the scam artist that you're a real human that will interact with these emails, even if it is just to unsubscribe. So then they'll send you to like this bullshit. Oh, hold on a second. Anyway, it'll have you like put in a password tell you, okay, so if you want to unsubscribe, put in a password or something like that, and they'll jank your information. And they might not do anything like instantly, but they basically put you on a list of people who will interact with them. So you basically don't click anything. This is what we were taught, like with all of my IT stuff that we were taught at the hospital for all of the facilities. There's special buttons at your email, no matter if it's Gmail, Outlook, any sort of whatever. There is a button that you press to report it where you don't interact with any of the links on anything. You got to be really, really careful. Even with text messages, a lot of people are getting scammed saying, click this for, to update your information for whatever reason. Or they'll say something like, oh, your social security thing needs an update. Here's the link for that update. No. Oh, I have to call this guy back. Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff. Yeah, fish report. But for Gmail, it's just like a little spammy button, like a warning stop thingy. And I am about I read some more of the book today. I took a break yesterday because I got that FOIA dump of information, which I'm going to go back in and I'm going to take out Operation Turtle Shell and do a clip of it by itself because it's about the transport. And I'll probably go in and clip out the stuff where Brett Payne is asking, what was it, April or August of 2024? I just know it was hella late, asking about the report from the 25th at WSU where the cars are or whatever. So I didn't read hardly anything of it yesterday because I was looking at that. But now I'm on chapter 72 and I've got shit tons of notes. But the next review video I'm going to put out probably later on this afternoon. And then the next one will be tomorrow. I'm going to start staggering them. I'm going to start staggering them out. Hey, Avril. Thank you for the 1999 artillery. Thank you so much. It's 1:31. Maybe they won't be late. We shall see. 1 minute ago. We shall see. But as soon as this hearing's over, we'll switch back and we'll finish reading the document. I have it still up there. And then eventually I'll clip that out and just put it out by itself too. Hey there, Dawn. How you doing? Hey, Sadie. Yeah, y'all are still in here. Did you? I'll go back and look at her video. Hey, buddy. That's funny. Yeah, and it's actually interesting because they really make a point in this book to talk about how tight-lipped Bill Thompson always is and how big of a surprise it was that he was at the press conferences and a certain, a couple of things. It's just, I'm like, why are y'all making sure that we know this? Why? It seems really irrelevant a lot of times the way that they just sneak it in there. They just sneak it in there. Hey, Mabo, how you doing? Hey, Jen and James. Hey, Alice. How you doing? Hey, Teresa. We're just waiting. Yeah, I just heard that in Fergie's voice in my head, bro. I don't even like that song. It's just that's all I heard was Fergie in my head. It's crazy. Yeah, we're just waiting. I don't want to switch over to the document and then we miss something, even though it's only 2 seconds of people getting their act together. Did you? Yeah. And see, that's another thing about the rant people were doing on Twitter. They were like, it's going to make the book sales go up. And I'm like, yeah, for the people that are just not telling the truth, for the people that are just oh my God, this is what it said. And just following along with everything. Yeah, probably. But that's not what we're doing. I actually bought it myself, hoping that y'all wouldn't buy it because it's lies. That was the whole point of why I wanted to go over it. It's not a good review. I'm constantly calling him out for his bullshit. There's even a part in here. Actually, on my couch this morning, I recorded me with my frizzy ass hair and my slept in makeup, just ranting for about 7 minutes because at one part in the book, he talks about Buddy the dog, and how one of the people that live next door to the owners have it like in their head that whoever did this to Buddy the dog had to have been the one who did all of this. And I'm like, bro, if I could get the freaking report, why couldn't Mr. James Patterson and Mrs. Big Shot Vicky Ward get the report? We already went through the report for Buddy the dog. It's sealed up to a certain extent because there's a juvenile involved in the situation, meaning someone under the age of 18 was the person responsible. That's why we only got the initial reports, and then some stuff was redacted with the laws for why. So I don't know why that's in here. Just like, why is Emily's dream in here? So many people are either misinterpreting the way that they're reading it, which I don't see how, because it's literally labeled Emily's dream, or a bunch of idiots are going in and reposting it, but not putting the portion about how it's a dream. So now there's people that are really thinking there's an actual instance with him in the Mad Greek, waving Maddie over, she rejecting him, and him going to his car and looking up her on Instagram. None of it's true. It's literally not only factually not true because of everything we've already been told, but it literally says that it's this girl's dream. It's just funny the way that like people do things, and then, you know, it's absolutely out of this world ridiculous, but you're the bad guy for pointing it out. Sorry, I'll continue to be the bad guy whenever there's nothing but a bunch of stupidity out there. It's just absolutely stupid. Like, if you're going to try to say something incorrect, or say that somebody's saying something incorrect or doing something incorrect, don't be incorrect in your statement, because how is anyone supposed to care what you like have to say? I know that whenever I see stuff like that, I'm just like, I really want to just so many things, but let's keep it to myself. Just too much. Too much. Something else that's really disappointing in the James Patterson book is how they mention the amount of kids that the Goncalveses have and purposely like don't talk about Sam, which, I mean, that's their whole thing, right? Like, they're a package that doesn't have Sam in it, but it's just really just wild how it's even in the books. They even make it a point to say how many kids they have, purposely excluding her from like everything. I did get to see her TikTok the other day. I know the other day whenever I talked about her and tried to pull it up, it wasn't showing it to me, but I saw that she apparently, in her own words, is having a Britney moment where she chopped all her hair off. That's the last thing that I saw, was her sitting in a salon chair. So I don't know. I just kind of stay over here. I don't even like look at TikTok, honestly. I feel like it's poison. Hey, Sheila. They really are just taking a while. Hey, Gail, how you doing? Olivia has morphed into Sam. Olivia looks bad. Like, cool, she lost weight. No, she overdid it. Like, she's looking not healthy. She might think she looks good, or her husband might think she looks good. But anybody that's really paying attention from the outside looking in, she does not look healthy. She looked good a couple weeks before the hearing, honestly, because I saw her profile picture that she had put on Facebook where she'd updated it, where she was skinnier. She looked good. She looked good then. Whatever was at the hearing, and then the Piers Morgan interview, I didn't get to watch it all. I watched like a minute or so of it because I was going to record my reaction to it. She looked really bad there. Like, she took it way too far, I guess. But, you know, if she's happy, then whatever. I just will feel bad if something ends up happening, like medically, because she's really thin. She does look like somebody else completely. Hey there, Rachel. Why didn't AT wait until the Amazon series came out? I mean, I can't say I don't know. I do know because they were handed that piece of paper in the other hearing prior to the plea deal situation, and it was about a plea deal, and he gave them like a deadline, but he literally said like the end of June. So I guess technically it could have waited. It could have waited, honestly. So I don't know. I couldn't recognize her. I had to ask people, who is that lady? Yeah. She just doesn't look healthy. And that's the same thing with Hunter Johnson. Like, people act like I'm like this horrible person for pointing out the freaking obvious. He looked way bigger back whenever all this happened. Now his face is sunken in, his hair. You can tell by somebody's hair if they're healthy or not. Tell me, I don't care how inexperienced you are in that knowledge. Go look at Hunter Johnson. Look at his hair and tell me that that's a healthy human. He might have a medical condition, okay? But for me to sit here and say that he does not look healthy, how is that like an attack or harassment? People need to like grow up. He looks bad. Yeah, he doesn't look good. Like, it's literally, like I even said, it's worrisome. Like, he looks bad, not healthy. It's not an attack. My God. There's a lot of just crazy stuff about him in general in this new book. Which we didn't know before. Okay, here we go.
All right. We are on the record in State v. Kohberger, CR 0124-31665. Present today by video is the defendant in custody with counsel, Ms. Taylor, Ms. Barlow, and Ms. Massoth. State is represented by Mr. Thompson, Mr. Hurwitz, and Ms. Jennings. On behalf of the media petitioners, we have Ms. Olson and Mr. Pedersen. Today's hearing is to discuss the media's request to terminate the non-dissemination order. The state filed a response indicating it was no longer objecting to that, and the defense did file an objection indicating that they do have a continued objection to lifting the non-dissemination order. I've read the briefs that have been provided by the parties, and I'm going to attempt to shortcut things here a little bit by asking whether the defense, who is the objecting party, has anything additional to add beyond what it had in its briefing before. I don't know that I need to hear from, frankly, the petitioner. I think the briefing was adequate, so let me just start with Ms. Taylor to see if there's anything else she wants to add.
Your Honor, there is not, but if there's further argument, Ms. Barlow will be making that argument on behalf of the defense.
All right. And to be fair, Ms. Olson, was there anything you felt was important to add that was not contained within your briefing?
Your Honor, we would just briefly say in response to the defendant's brief, we certainly understand the expressed concern about the media coverage of their client. We don't think continuing the non-dissemination order helps that at all. It simply continues to limit the ability of the members of the press to reach out to the people who know the most about the case. It doesn't obligate them to say anything. We also understand that they expressed that there was a due process right related to the sentencing. I read the case that they submitted. I think that there is obviously a due process right at sentencing, but I don't think that case is really it doesn't provide any guidance to the court here, because that was about information provided to the court. And given the very limited scope, and we understand it's very important, but given the very limited scope of what's to be decided at the sentencing, we don't think the arguments that Mr. Kohberger made should outweigh at this stage the First Amendment rights of our clients. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. In light of that response by the media outlets or interested outlets, Ms. Barlow, do you want to add anything?
I would only say, Your Honor, as this court is well aware, the publicity in this case is so extensive and emotions are already so high that adding fuel to the fire of media interviews or a rush to interview people as they leave the courthouse or enter the courthouse would only increase the concerns that the defense has. And even though the plea has a specific sentence attached to it, as this court is well aware, things happen in plea hearings and, sentencing hearings. And to minimize the possibility of that, we request that this order stay in place.
All right, thank you. All right, as the court has considered the petition, frankly, the court was prepared at the time the plea was entered to lift the non-dissemination order in order to give the parties time to evaluate that And to ensure I wasn't missing anything when both sides objected, I agreed to continue the non-dissemination order. I also indicated that I would have the potential to look at that again before sentencing, because frankly, I anticipated the motion from somebody, in this case, the Ms. Olson and her clients, was likely to be coming. And at this point, I do not believe the purpose of the non-dissemination order, the primary purpose, which is to ensure that we can seat a impartial jury, is any longer at play. The concerns identified by the defendant, while certainly not to minimize those, they are concerns and they are significant concerns. I do not think, however, the non-dissemination order and the right of the public to information is outweighed or outweighs those rights, I should say. And frankly, I don't think that lifting the non-dissemination order will meaningfully impact those concerns. I mean, the media frenzy, as it has been described, will continue regardless. It is a little bit like water will find low ground. In this case, the media is going to write about something regardless about this case. The lifting the non-dissemination order does not require the counsel or others who were previously bound by it to speak. And the state has indicated they don't intend to until after the sentencing. And certainly I would hope that the media interests would respect those positions and give people the space that they need and request. In terms of, for example, the defendant's family and others coming and going at the sentencing, we intend to have, as we did before, appropriate security measures in place to ensure that they, as well as the victims, are allowed to get in and out unscathed by the media, if that's what they wish to do, or if they wish to speak to the media, they can do that as well. At this point, I just don't think that I can justify the continuation of the non-dissemination order. I think the rights of the public to information in this case is paramount, given the fact that a plea has been entered in this case, and so I'm going to lift the non-dissemination order. But I want to point out what that means and what it doesn't mean. So obviously nobody's required to speak to the media, first of all. Second of all, I want to be clear that the court's prior preservation order to the parties is not lifted and continues to stay in place. And so it's important to understand that those obligations still exist. And then the other thing I want to point out is that by lifting the non-dissemination order, that does not convert sealed documents to unsealed documents. Documents previously sealed by the court are still sealed. Now, I see the media also filed a petition to be heard to unseal everything. I'm denying that outright. The request to intervene, because I think it's premature at this point. So the court will its intent is to, after sentencing, begin the process of reviewing all the sealed material in this case to determine what should be unsealed and what should not be unsealed. That process will include an opportunity for counsel to register any objections to unsealing documents, specific documents, and request to redact certain sealed documents before they are unsealed, or unseal them in a redacted form. I intend to do that in groupings of documents at a time. As I sit here now, my thought is I'm going to start from newest to oldest. because those are the ones that I have the most working knowledge of as to the reason for the sealing of the documents, as well as the content of those documents. And so I think I can get through those more quickly. As we move backward in time, it's going to take further, more extensive review by the court to figure out, to obviously review the content of those documents, listen to those hearings, et cetera, and determine why they were sealed and whether that rationale still is necessary, or that rationale still requires the documents to maintain that sealed status. And so before everybody gets out their pen and paper and sends in public records requests, understand those will be denied for sealed records until they are unsealed. And that process is going to take time. And I'm not talking days. I'm probably not talking weeks for that to be accomplished. So I hope people understand patience will be required to get through that, as I'm going to have to review those myself to make those decisions. Now, we may be able to speed things up if neither party objects to groupings of documents or specific documents being unsealed. But it's important to review those because those documents may include information that, pursuant to Rule 32, are not to be made public, including birth dates, social securities, information about minors and victims, and information that would be essentially inappropriate to unseal, including protection of individuals from undue harassment, et cetera. And so that's just going to take time. In addition, I'm unlikely to unseal much until after sentencing and after the appeals period has run. Now, I recognize the plea agreement includes a waiver of the right to appeal, but as the parties probably know, the U.S. Supreme Court in Garza versus Idaho has indicated the fact that a defendant waives the right to appeal doesn't mean they don't have the right to appeal. And so it may affect the outcome of that appeal, and it may affect the underlying case and the plea agreement. But nonetheless, the right to appeal does not go away because of the waiver. And so I think it's important for that time period to also play itself out to see that it goes the way that I think people intend and expect it to. And so I will be entering an order in the next week or so outlining the process for the review of the sealed records. And counsel will need to maintain a presence in the case in order to review those materials as they are proposed to be unsealed by the court. Because the timeline that I will likely give you will not be, I suspect, extensive as for each group of records. So I might give you 14 days, for example, to provide a response as to a group of, a dozen or a couple dozen records at a time. So just sort of heads up and fair play with respect to that. Any questions by the parties about the ruling today?
Not from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
No questions from the defense. Thank you.
So Olson, do you have any questions?
And I don't, Your Honor. I wasn't certain if I was included within the parties. I would just say I think that the court's proposed manner of moving forward on the sealed records will likely largely address our interests, and we appreciate the court setting that out in this hearing today.
Yeah. If certain records after review maintain their sealed status, it would be at that point that I would entertain requests for me to consider that more formally and to have a voice in that. But I think until I've gone through that process, it's premature, which is why I don't intend to take up your motion, your more recent filed motion at this time. So,
thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate that.
All right. And with that, then we are adjourned. Thank you. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. So, yeah, but nah. Like, basically at the same time. I'm going to have to go back through that and get his exact verbiage, which, like, duh, we already knew that the gag order being lifted doesn't automatically mean that things get unsealed, but it means that they now have to be looked at and given the opportunity to become unsealed with redactions if need be. I don't appreciate already the fact that he's like, oh, we have to protect certain people from harassment. That's the whole reason why all this bullshit ended up going the way that it was going. Y'all don't want the truth to come out when it comes to Dylan and Bethany. That's what you don't want. You don't want us to see that there's more to the conversation. That's why everyone that they've hired to write a book or make a series, they literally, this entire thing skips over everything about Dylan and changed the entire story. Nothing about them being up in Kaylee's room talking about going to get food. Nothing about anything. No contact on her phone. None of the actual evidence is in this stupid ass lie of a damn book. That's what they don't want to come out. I'm so tired of it. And I know a lot of it probably has to do more with Bethany than Dylan, because everything when it comes to Xana and Ethan is quiet and hush hush and has no proof to freaking absolutely anything. And Bethany was the one that was with them at that damn party. Every bit of information has changed. This is all so stupid. All so stupid. What about the people harassing BK's family? I mean, there's probably a lot of them. I mean, even Chief Fry. Oh, thank you for becoming a member, Petty. Even Chief Fry, in the book at least, tells stories of people that are brave enough to harass police officers. Like, saying they were going to come to the police department and take him out, but then also was sending him pictures of his thing, which is a federal, like, law that was just broken. So it's all just odd. All of it's insane. This is all just so stupid. See, I don't know what the frick he's mentioning a minor. See, this is what makes me upset, because this was the situation when it came to Buddy the dog. We just talked about this. Certain portions of Buddy the dog situation is redacted, and they give me the reasoning for there being a juvenile involved in the situation. Like, they quote the damn code, and that's what it says. They sent it to me. They sent me the code. So I don't know why he's talking about juveniles right now, because everybody in this damn thing were straight up adults. Straight up drug taking, alcohol drinking, having sex with whoever they wanted to, paying bills, adults. So I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of it. So stupid. I mean, what she said something about, she kind of tripped me up whenever she said something about a plea and then went to sentencing. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. It only took like 20 freaking minutes. So I'm going to go back over it. She has freaking names, but who is transparent? Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about Lana, or are you talking about the one who, like, with all the body cam footage? Because I kind of need to know which one you're talking about. But that'd be interesting if she has names that can be validated, because that hitchhiker in North Carolina has been questionable to me for a while because of how specific. So I might go take a look at it after I do some editing on some things. I don't even want to really go back in and read the letter now. I mean, finish reading the document. I'll just put a link for this document in here for the defense wanting it to not happen, because it's already happened. He is officially lifting it. But it doesn't surprise me at all that they're wanting to come in here and be like, oh, well, we're going to be able to, hide a whole bunch of stuff. But then again, I also don't know, like, what it means by him wanting to be like, oh, we're going to go from the newest to the oldest. Like, at first I'm like, okay, well, that just tells me that you sort of, like, don't want us to see who your original suspect was, because there was a whole lead that they were going after. They had his phone records. They had him in 2 different documents, and Brett Payne mentioned him on the stand in January. So it was this whole lead person. and the DNA for the 2 unknown male DNA was still like in testing and wasn't with them yet. So they had a whole lead. Then they had the call from the feds. And then after they had his name, then they get the DNA in and just push it off to the side. That's why it's so interesting to me again that in this stupid piece of shit lie of a book, they try to make it sound as if Moscow are the heroes. No, they're not. They didn't do a damn thing. Nothing that they did actually led to where we are right now. Literally everything that led to Bryan was done by the damn feds. They can't even say that Othram doing a portion of the IGG was anything remote when it comes to Moscow having a hand in it, because that all got pulled off and the damn name came from the feds. They did the forensic download of his phone. They did the inventory at his parents' house. They did basically everything. Moscow didn't do anything. Literally nothing. Thank you for the $1.99. Yeah. We'll see. I might or might not. Because yeah. Thank you for the 10. Say it louder. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's talk about how all of a sudden we've got like David B driving around, which is another thing that whenever I get to that portion of the review, we're going to hear now. In the Amazon series, which again is supposed to be majorly based off this book. In the Amazon series, it says that David B is sober driving around King Road at 4 o'clock in the morning and gets this weird, eerie feeling that he needs to hurry up and run home. This says home dude was walking across basically the Banfield at 4 o'clock. Actually, the time that they actually put in here for him walking over there is 3:59, conveniently the same as the DoorDash. But in the, again, series that got their information from this, it says he's driving. Out of his own face, he says he's driving. This book says he was walking. They can't even collaborate together correctly. It's absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. Where is it? Right here. Nothing they did made any sense. Exactly. This is so stupid. So stupid. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to get off here in just a second. I'm going to re-listen to the hearing, get the pieces out where he says exactly what they're going to do in the thing and like the process, even though honestly it doesn't matter because he's going to end up doing whatever the frick he wants to do anyway. So what I'm going to do is get the 2 videos out that I've already recorded. And then I think when it comes to a certain portion of like the 6 weeks right here, like going up to the arrest, we might go through some of this stuff live. I've just been really worried about doing it live because if I like sit here and like read stuff out, I don't want to be copyright stricken by James Patterson or Vicky Ward because they can come in here and do that simply because I'm like reading too much of it. It's the same thing like with a YouTube video. If you don't, stop and make a comment every certain amount of time, certain amount of seconds or whatever, like you can get in trouble for all that. And they did just do like a whole nother like a round of updates. So they're really cracking down on just like all the channels that just play people's stuff and just sit there on the bottom corner and do literally nothing at all to add to shit and just sit there. They're really starting to crack down on those apparently. But at some point I'd like to go live and like go over some of this with you guys because damn, like my notes are wild. Like every single freaking page is just full of ink because I'm just like, huh? What? No. And like, this is false. What are you talking about? Anyway, yesterday I submitted a second FOIA to the Idaho State Police as well because I wanted some information from them. And they already responded back and said that my request was going to take some extended time, which is probably something that they constantly send to people, honestly. But I asked for lots of things. I'm very specific about stuff. So we'll see what they do. We'll see how much information ends up coming out now. But what I was going to say about the way that he's going from like newest to oldest, is it going to be like in way of discovery coming public or how is he going to do that? Because the newer stuff is all of this stuff about the roommates, the 911 call finally coming out, the transcript for the 911 call, which again, the series and the book are both putting Dylan as the person on the phone initially, with Josie taking the phone from Dylan. And that's not what the damn transcripts say. And there's multiple copies of the transcript on the court record submitted by both the defense and the state. They ended up going completely with the one from the defense. And it says that Bethany is the first person. So even that they can't even like get right. And what's also freaking crazy is that how they're sitting here in the book with the portion where Olivia is upset that they don't have the time that Maddie and Kaylee get home precise. And while he's sitting here showing like all of their frustration with the problem, he puts 157 in his damn text instead of 156 like they have said out of their own faces several times. I really used to like James Patterson, but I also never used to critique what he was doing. I was just along for the story. That was obviously a big damn mistake. Wait until I tell my dad about all this, because he likes James Patterson too. But once I tell him all the inconsistencies and the lies in this book, he's probably going to get rid of every one of them that he owns. Honestly, for real. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here and do what I said, all the things I said. I'll probably go ahead and put like just a little clip out that shows the portions that he said. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how long it takes to start getting anything to actually come out. But again, if he's doing newest to oldest, then maybe it'll be some of the stuff from the roommates. But I still also doubt it because of how they're also acting about, oh, they don't need to be harassed. What's in there that you think we're going to see that's going to cause people to want to harass them? Not that I'm condoning it, but you're prefacing that for a reason, sir. Okay. So I don't know. We will see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and close all of this out. Thank you so much for watching this with me. I know a bunch of channels were live right now. Thanks for being here with me. Thank you for everyone that came in that's a member. Thank you for spending a couple hours with me. Let me go through these color things. Thank you for being here for 4 months, Jeannieville. 13 months, CC. 5 months for Avril. Thank you for the 1999 artillery. Welcome, Petty AF. And y'all don't forget that the members only lives are the last Monday of the month. And I'm going to be giving away this book to a member. It'll probably be on the live, honestly, because we should be done, or at least I should be done recording all of my review videos by then. And then I'm going to give it away with all of my notes and stuff in it because I don't want it. I don't want it. Thank you for the $2, Jules. Thank you for the $10 Say It Louder. And thank you for the $1.99 I've got something to say. I'll go take a look at it, but I'll probably just take a look long enough to get the information and then probably file my own FOIA to see if the information matches the facts. And I'll just leave it at that. But I'll go ahead and play my little outro right here real quick. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.